Oh, there is. Oh, it feels nice. Oh, there's a couple on here. They all feel great. Guten gardening, everybody. Well, this is going to be a quick sweet potato harvest video, I think, because I've just got 4 hay bales here, and I'm going to be pulling some sweet potatoes out of these. Well, I hope we're going to be pulling some sweet potatoes out of these. These are the hay bales located at the edge of our driveway that we grow sweet potatoes in. We grow marigolds in as well. It's like a curb appeal area that we then get a little bit of a sweet potato harvest from as well. Now this serves 2 purposes. I already mentioned the first purpose. The first purpose is our curb appeal, because we like the way sweet potato plants, those sweet potato greens, look. Now, of course, they don't look so hot because we're getting into some of that really cold weather. But it also serves the purpose of breaking down these hay bales, which then are feeders into our vertical hay gardens. So all 4 of these hay bales have been out here for 2 seasons, which means we're not going to be able to grow in them anymore. We're going to go ahead and gather these up and place them into our vertical hay garden. So those have sunk probably about 1 foot, 1.5 feet. So we need all of this hay to go into those in preparation for next season. So I guess technically that's the 3rd purpose of having these out here. The first purpose, curb appeal. The second purpose, getting a couple of sweet potatoes. And the 3rd purpose is then going to be growing more sweet potatoes, etc. in our vertical hay gardens. So let's see what we've got in here. Let's see if we've got anything in the way of a harvest of sweet potatoes. Now, typically our experience has been that growing in these hay bales the first year is a little bit of a challenge because they're so tight and compacted. I put these little bits of metal fencing here off to the side to try to prevent some of the rabbits from getting in here. Ooh, look at this. But I'm not sure how well it protected them from voles and stuff like that. I see a really nice sweet potato here, but before I harvest it, you see all this mix here on top? What we do is we typically add a little layer of potting mix, just, pushing it down in here to help break apart some of this hay. This is a beauregard sweet potato grown in hay. And look at the bottom. Oh man. So the vole got to the bottom part. Look at how big this sweet potato is though. Look at how much more there was. Well, let's see how often the voles got in here. That's what I said. I tried to protect them from the bigger critters, but I couldn't necessarily protect these hay bales from the voles. This one's another big one. Let's see if they ate the bottom too. No, it's beautiful. Oh, there it is. Oh, look. This looks like it had some initial damage and then the roly-polies got in there a little bit. But that being said, still most of this is in good shape. Hey, you know what? This is a great start because, again, these are not ornamental sweet potatoes. These are real, good, beauregard sweet potatoes that we plant in here. And our goal, again, is multiple. I mean, there's multiple pieces to it. Look at what, look at all those roly-polies. Look at the damage of the voles in here. I tell you what, though, they grew nicely. They grew really, really nicely if it weren't for the vole damage. It's hard to be upset when your primary purpose isn't just getting sweet potatoes. It's hard to be too devastated when you see some vole damage, but at the same time, when you see that there was really good growth and then they've been eaten out, I wonder if that's going to be the same way the whole way. Oh, you hear them? You hear them? They're down in there right now. They didn't leave. You hear the sounds of the voles. Their nest is right down in here. Let's see if we can find them. Well, I don't see them, but I know they're in there, and they're angry that I'm taking the rest of their food away. Well, I mentioned it earlier, but I'll say it again. I didn't do anything in here. I didn't take any steps to protect these sweet potatoes. This was the ornamental aspect of it definitely served its purpose. We definitely had some beautiful greens out here. And so now that I'm seeing the 2nd year production and potential production, that makes me want to come in here next season and really do something a little bit different. But those voles get in there. They're tiny, but they have these teeth, this sharp, sharp teeth that can really, really damage the sweet potatoes quickly. That one's no damage to that. All right, so given what I'm seeing here, given how, you see how well this hay is just breaking apart, collapsing right now? I think we're going to find that farther down, as long as the voles didn't get all the way in, we'll probably have some more, because there's different varieties growing in here. So you can see some success, some devastation, but a whole lot of potential here just growing in hay. Now right next door we have some white Triumph sweet potatoes. Now here's something interesting I think about the white Triumph. They looked to me as though they were struggling the most of any variety here in a couple of our beds. And so I'm not sure if we're going to get much of anything. Well, the voles definitely made it down here. I'm not sure if we're going to get much of anything in terms of size from these white Triumphs, especially now that I'm seeing vole damage. But they just didn't seem to want to develop very well. They didn't want to spread for us for some reason. You can see this entire slip only grew this much. You know, from one hay bale to the next, that other variety, the beauregards, really spread out nicely. So, you know, we get something this size, a little bit of vole damage here. Get something this size is actually not bad for given how little development we saw. Yeah, they came right underneath. So I protected the top from the big critters. I didn't protect the undersides here from the voles. Wow. But again, look at how broken down this hay is already. And just think about it then. Think about what that's going to mean for our hay bale gardens. There you go. That's a pretty nice size sweet potato. Think about what all this hay means for us for growing this upcoming season. Because one thing we know, gardening isn't just spur of the moment. There's a lot that goes into preparing for the upcoming seasons. And what I mean by that is that, you know, our preparation, if you're growing in hay bales, that's a great example. If you're growing in hay bales, you're not going to be able to just get out there and throw stuff into hay bales. There's some preparation involved. And for us, one of the things that's really helped with that preparation is planting ahead of time, like a season or so ahead, into these hay bales. Take a look at that beauty. Isn't that nice? Just kidding. But I should point something else out, and I think this is super important. You know, I keep mentioning the fact that we didn't really do anything to protect this particular bed. For the most part, our harvests have not had a ton of damage from the voles. That is one of the strangest things I've ever seen. You see, it looks like it's split early on and then healed over, but it's this wide gap here. Still some sweet potato though. Boy, I really hope in our main sweet potato crop, and I guess we'll know this pretty soon, I really hope that the white Triumph did a little bit better. And the reason I say that is because anytime we get a new variety, I'm always excited to see how well they'll turn out. All right, these are vardaman sweet potatoes, and I can see there's one that's pretty nice that's attached. I think it's pretty nice. We'll see. I think there's more down in here. Did we get away from the vole damage? Have we come down far enough? Look how clean that sweet potato is. I've actually made it dirtier by harvesting it. Let's see if there's another one down in here. Oh, there is. Oh, it feels nice. Oh, there's a couple on here. They all feel great. Oh, they're perfect. Look how clean that is. That is the best example I've ever seen. The cleanest example in a harvest of a vardaman sweet potato. Look at that beautiful, it's like a bright orangish color. Isn't that awesome? Oh, wow. You see, it just came right down here. This hay hasn't broken down quite as much, although it's still definitely working. And we got this. Those are my favorites so far. Those are fantastic. And I meant to tell you one more thing about these sweet potatoes. I haven't mentioned it yet. You see all this? Looks like a mold. It's all decaying, decomposing here. I didn't feed these at all. All I did was to plant them and water them occasionally, and then we let nature do the rest. Oh, isn't this fun? So they're not massive, but they're super cool looking, and they're pretty good size. Now, I did plant 4 in each of these hay bales. Now, whether or not 4 survived in every single instance, I'm not going to guarantee that. This vardaman, you see how small these are? These are more of a bush variety. They really didn't get very big, and yet we still got decent production. Okay, I just pulled everything off of that one. Let's reach down in here and see. Let's see. Look at that. That is not bad. Okay, is that the only one? Oh, there's a tiny one right here. That's not bad at all, considering. Don't roll off here. All right, very cool. All right, this is tiny. This developed not at all. I just have this sneaking suspicion that there's not much attached to this one, but you do the harvest, no matter what well, there's a couple little ones. No matter what you expect, you still do the harvest, and you get a little sweet potato fry. Little half a sweet potato fry. Someone asked me in a recent comment, with these smaller ones, how do you actually scrub them enough, make them clean enough to eat them? Because, if you try to peel them like this size, you're not going to get anything really out of them. They'll all basically be gone. Well, the answer to that, to me, is that this is one of the benefits of growing in an organic fashion. When you grow in an organic style, you don't have to worry about washing too much, is you're not putting any sprays or anything like that on there. You can just wash them off a little bit. We just use water. Wash them off a little bit. And the skin of these have tons of fiber in them. They're fantastic for you. Oh, come on. I feel more down in here. This one looks pretty good. Feels pretty good too. Absolutely. Hey, this harvest is getting better and better. Better by the slip, huh? We started off with tons of vole damage. We move on to some beautiful and whole sweet potatoes. This is the best one so far. I love it. Oh, and there's more down. Is there another one? There is another one. It was all the way at the bottom. I tell you what, you're looking for some good curb appeal. Is going to have the benefit of potentially feeding you. Don't bother with ornamental sweet potatoes. You can plant these sweet potatoes just as easily and get a result from those. And you can feed yourself a little bit at the end. Now, can you eat ornamental sweet potatoes? I've seen that question asked many times. Can you eat them? Yes, you can. Do they taste as good as, say, these vardamans? No, not quite. All right, we are down here for the last bale of hay. And first of all, I noticed that one of the slips that I planted died a long time ago. I don't see anything in here from that one. It looks like it never caught on. So we got 1, 2, really it looks like only 2 slips in this one. Interesting. And I'll also tell you, it looks like there's potentially a little hole here, but I don't know. I cannot find the rock that I laid the variety on, or that I wrote the variety on here. So I'm not actually sure what variety I planted here at the end. I'm not 100% sure what this is, but I know they're tiny. They don't compare to our vardamans that we just pulled out of here. You know what? This actually looks like a vardaman. If you look at the comparison here, this is definitely vardaman. I think I may have just put some more vardaman down in here. Well, that's okay. It looks like right down here at the end, these didn't necessarily grow as much or as well. But we still got a few more, and they're not bad, and they haven't been attacked. We're going to call this an absolute win just because we got some great sweet potatoes out of here. I actually thought the harvest was done, and I came over here to check where there should have been a sweet potato slip and where one wasn't, and there was one more sweet potato. So I guess it lived long enough to grow one more sweet potato. Well, I don't know if you can tell, but the wind has been swirling out here. I've been doing my best to not let the wind hit the microphone, but this is a definite win as far as sweet potato harvest goes. It would be a win simply because of the amount of curb appeal we had. It would be a win simply because of the fact that these sweet potato plants have helped us to prepare for our garden, our vertical hay garden for next season. And it's definitely even more of a win because we got some pretty cool sweet potatoes out of here, regardless of that vole damage. Hey, if you've ever wanted some extra curb appeal in your garden, and you have a nice place that you could put a couple of bales of hay, throw in some sweet potato slips, and enjoy that view all summer long, and then enjoy the nutritious benefits at the end of the summer. And we hope you enjoyed today's sweet potato harvest video. If you did, don't forget to give us a like, leave us a comment, remember to share and subscribe, and most importantly, remember, when you're with us, you are good. good to grow.